Let's go on to Red Robin. And Red Robin right now is in a fight with a potential activist investor. Basically, Red Robin Gourmet Burgers is basically trying to fight a takeover bid with a short-term shareholder rights plan. So basically, the short-term shareholder rights plan, some people call them poison pills. They've kind of been looked at as reorgs completely. It's really just to deter these investors from gaining more stock control. And when you look at the program that they're trying to revamp Red Robin on, I think it's a really struggling issue with Red Robin. They're having more problems than what I think most casual dining chains are dealing with versus some of the independent operators who are basically killing it. These chains are really struggling. And I think there are some answers for them. But right now, it's companies like Vintage Capital who are looking to take control and take advantage of these. And I think this has happened in the food industry, and we'll talk to an expert on this. But essentially, if you look at the numbers here, the firm first filed security documents last month indicating an activist intent in its investment in Red Robin. And among the options in its evaluation of Red Robin stock listed in its filing, it was going to pursue a transaction that would result in the acquisition of all controlling interest in Red Robin. This is Vintage Capital, who has now acquired more than 11% of the current active shares. They're out of the casual dining chain. So I had a chance to talk with a longtime industry expert. His name is Fred Lefranc. He's with a company called Results Through Strategy. And I had two questions for him. His thoughts on the activist investor and if he thinks this current strategy will work. And my second question was, what did he think about the strategy plan from Red Robin and their executives on closing underperforming stores, catering, and refranchising? Let's cut to Fred and hear what he has to say.
In response to the question about the activist investor for Red Robin and whether or not it's going to work in terms of what the strategy is going to be, this reminds me a lot of what happened when the Darden board was basically wiped out several years ago by an activist investor. And the strategies they used to fix Darden at a time were effective and successful. Now, they ultimately named Gene Lee as their CEO, who was already with the company as the CFO, and he's done an incredible job. If you look at their stock, it's just been amazing what they've managed to accomplish. I was at the ICR conference about a year and a half ago when Denny Post, the then CEO of Red Robin, spoke about the elimination of buzzers and runners. And the company experienced a short-term profit gain because they reduced labor. But it set the seeds for the decline in sales that followed in the quarters afterwards. And that's really what the issue is. At the same exact conference, Gene Lee, CEO of Darden, talked about how they were going to add labor because he saw that service was a differentiator in the guest experience. Ironically, Darden also refuses to participate with third-party delivery because they don't want to lose customers to third-party providers. They want to keep them within the four walls of their restaurant brand. And so it remains to be seen what the actual strategies that the activist investor for Red Robin is going to pursue, but that the company needs a shakeup is important. Now, we know that a lot of the Red Robins are located near malls. That's one of the reasons that they're struggling. There's been some recent articles about how mall traffic is hurting restaurants in general, and Red Robin's with its dependency on mall-based locations definitely is going to be affected by that. But part of the challenge is for them to create a compelling dining experience that people are going to want to attend and participate in, and that's definitely been missing from their experience the last few years. Regarding the questions on the strategy of closing underperforming stores, refranchising, and catering. So first off, Red Robin is really tied to malls. And mall traffic, as everyone knows, because of the retail apocalypse, has really been hurt. And so it's not surprising that Red Robin has really been hurt by this traffic decline. And part of it has to do with the fact that, I would always ask a question in casual dining, is it exciting enough to really draw people in? Is there enough of a reason to appear in order to bring traffic back to locations? I work with a lot of independent restaurant companies that are doing very, very well in this economic environment, whether they're in a mall location or not. So I'm not sure it's strictly all about the malls. I think that the concept itself needs some vitality and revitalization. Refranchising the stores, that's okay. TGI Fridays is trying to do that. But TGI Fridays has struggled because some of these new franchisees that they've gotten are talking about giving the stores back. And that means that they're not doing well. So while the refranchising sort of says, okay, it's no longer our problem, it's your problem, it's not a guaranteed success. And then lastly, as far as catering goes, catering is a big growth opportunity along with third-party delivery. We know that's a booming market. The estimate is going to be over $200 billion marketplace in the next 3 to 5 years. So I think it's smart to do that. The question then comes to, does that burger product that Red Robin sells travel well? Will it have the quality that people want? How do you transport French fries and keep them hot and crisp? So there's some operational challenges that are there, but I think looking into alternative omni-channel sales channels is a smart thing to do. So the restaurant business historically has had, on-premise dining, takeout, and then of course QSR has brought in drive-through, and then you got third-party delivery and catering. So you got 5 sales channels that can exist in the restaurant operation based on what your concept is. And Red Robin is smart to explore all opportunities to try and do something with that.
All right. So what you see here is, I think, a frantic operations team. They have to make a move now to really fight off what has been proven already with a company like Darden, which is completely revamped its entire approach toward food service, especially with Gene Lee, who, when you look at Gene Lee, I mean, he was a recent Gold Plate winner with IFMA, the International Food Service Manufacturers Association. This guy really took a Darden to a new height, and his strategy of exemplifying where you're looking at service and really ramping up that component and owning the customer. I think that's going to be a major factor for all of the companies that are out there in the casual dining space, and that is one where they have got to figure out a strategy to create a direct connection to those guests, not only in their space, and as Fred mentioned, but also outside their 4 walls. And I think that's going to take a digital play that's going to be very advanced. There will be a company that does this and is going to be successful with it, whether they go the virtual route, cloud delivery processes, revamp their digital strategies to deal with this. The vehicles are all there. The channels of connecting to the guests and the consumers are already in place when you look at social, especially in mobile, and the ability in terms of web technology today to track movements and understand. And I know there's a lot of privacy issues that we're dealing with today, but this is the time right now for a company to take the lead and really kind of excel. Can Red Robin do it? Don't know. The team will be against some pretty tall orders here, I think, but if they can get those things underway, they've got a chance to fight this off. However, Vintage Capital may come in and do a Darden program where they place in a strategic team, take out the board, and that could change things for the better as well for that brand. And at the end, it's really for the investors and the stakeholders.